Welcome to the last episode of Season 1. This episode will inspire you to look at your life and consider where you've been refusing to listen to your own intuition, where you can give yourself more grace, and how you can shed what no longer serves you, even if it's something you love, so that you can fully honor the season you're in. Yes, there's a mixture of excitement and bittersweet emotions behind this one. However, as I've learned over time, the best way to move forward sometimes requires a step backwards. And if you're living on my side of the world right now, you're watching our planet do this very thing as we step into the autumn season. In this episode, I reflect on the lessons and new realities this podcast has enabled me to step into, and how the school of learning your own whispers never truly ends. I do just want to take a moment to say thank you so much to all of you who have listened in and kept me going through this whole experience. It's been an amazing, beautiful, difficult, challenging ride. And I know that I wouldn't be able to have done it without you all taking the time to listen to what I have to say, to share your feedback, and to just share your energy with me. So yeah, I don't think words can fully express the love and gratitude I'm feeling for you. And I hope to see you soon in season 2 of the podcast.
You are listening to the School of Whispers podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, and this is my space to get real, open, and weird about my life experiences as a psychic, medium, energy healer, and student of Chinese medicine. On the show, I'll be sharing my healing journey and the concepts I've learned along the way, and I'll be having guests on talking about the same sort of thing. I am so happy you're here, and I hope this show leaves you feeling inspired and empowered to learn how to listen to the whispers of your own body and spirit. Let's get into the show.
Welcome to the last episode of this season. When I started the podcast, I didn't really have a lot of foresight, I guess. I didn't really know what this thing would bring me at all. And I wasn't sure if I would be someone who would do seasons. Honestly, a part of me really wanted to be more of that person who's just putting them out all the time. And there are no seasons. It's just 100 to 1,000 episodes, and it just keeps going on and on. But my higher self, my guides, my ancestors, those who guide me within this podcast, have different plans. And I think what I want to do is, I've been in ceremony for like 2 hours this morning, 2.5 hours now, actually. And I want to bring you to this place that I'm in right now. So if you're driving, you know the drill. If you're not, go ahead and find a place where you're comfortable, where you can sit tall, having 2 feet on the ground, and closing down your eyes, taking a deep breath in. Letting it go. Another deep breath in, filling your belly, filling your lungs, feeling the air that pulls through your nose to travel and tumble down to the base of your spine, holding for a moment when you get there. And exhaling, letting it all go. One last breath like this. Bringing awareness to your feet, feeling your pinky toe, feeling your big toe, and every toe in between. From your toes to the top of your feet, gliding up your shins, pulling at your knees. And your awareness glides up your thighs and lands at your hips, pulling down towards your spine, towards your sacrum, the very center. As you take another deep breath in, let your inhale guide you up your spine to the very crown of your head, feeling your energy rise here. And then on the exhale, let your energy fall back down the front of your body, melting your face, your chest, your belly, all the way back down to the base of your spine. Keeping your eyes closed, and if you're driving, just create it in your mind's eye here, a basket. In the basket, you're going to fill it with the things that are important to you. So whether it's your phone, whether it's pictures, maybe it's an old stuffed animal, maybe it's a piece of clothing that really expresses your fullness. What are you going to fill this basket with? And then think of intentions you'd like to place into this basket. My intention is to honor the season that I'm in, to listen deeply, and to respect my intuition, to give myself grace when I know it's time to ask for help. What intentions are you going to place into this basket? And then imagine setting this basket on fire. So all these things that you use to define yourself, these objects that are so important to you, just watch them burn, watch the flame, eat them up as they turn into ash. And watch your intentions turn to ash as well and be picked up by the wind and carried across the world. Notice if your fire is slow and billowing, if it's fast and erratic. Notice if there's any colors to the fire. Maybe there's a smell. And then you're going to pick up that basket and place it in a pool of water, allowing the fire to be quenched, allowing the ashes of these things that matter to you to wash away in the water. Just wash it away into the water. And as you visualize these things burn and then be drowned, notice where are you feeling this in your body? I'm feeling it right in my heart, right around my lungs. In Chinese medicine, the lungs have to do with grief. I think it's so important when you find yourself in a place where you're required to let go of the things the objects that matter to you and the things you use to define yourself. It's so important to grieve them, even if they weren't that necessarily great for you. And then separating these objects from your pure emotion. Imagine as if you're pulling the memories of these things, the images of the burn, you're pulling it away from your emotion so that you're left with nothing but the feeling in your body. Allow it to fill you up and up and up. Even if it's good or bad, it's okay. You're safe here. Just let it fill you up. If you feel like you need to express it, whether you need to yell, cry, sigh, let it come. Give it all the attention and space it deserves so that there's nothing left to give it. So that you can purify this emotion and then let it go. Deep breath in. Open your mouth, sigh it out. One more like that. Slowly you start to bring your awareness back on in. Go ahead and call upon your guides, your ancestors, and your higher self to sit with us here. So what this ceremony that I did was for, if you didn't guess already, was for with the intention of releasing. I don't know if you guys have caught on to this yet, but from the point with the whispers of the virus, if you haven't listened to episode 18, I talk about having herpes and I talk about my journey through it. And from that point and then onwards, every episode after that has been a part of this journey that I didn't realize I was entering into. So all the episodes before that, all the other 17 episodes, were lessons that I had learned beforehand. They were lessons that I had went through, I experienced the visions, the lessons, the journaling, the expression, and then I felt ready to share it all with the world. And the whole healing lesson thing behind sharing with the world that about my herpes and my struggle with it, that was not something that I was on the other side of. I mean, yes, I was in the practice of sharing it with people around me, but not in this capacity. And then from that point, oh my God, that episode opened up so much for me. I don't know if I want to label it good or bad yet, because I know in the grand scheme of things, it's been for me. It's been for my greater good. But in the short term, it's been really fucking painful. I've been going through a lot. And if you listen to the whispers of the inner child, and by the way, I'm at the park, so I don't know if you're hearing the wind, other people giggling, screaming, and playing with each other, or even the cicadas. I'm sitting on at a picnic table by a beautiful, bloated lake that's starting to teem over, and the walk to get to this picnic bench was pretty squishy. And I'm in a meadow, surrounded by trees, and earlier oh, no, he's still there. I'm watching a white egret who's sitting in the trees, just kind of skulking over the lake, probably looking for some breakfast or lunch. Wow, it's lunchtime now. Anyways, I have come to find that every episode after that point was just a whole new portal that enabled me into a whole new lesson. Episodes like that, the virus one and the inner child and the perfectionism, those were all lessons that were kind of happening in real time. And I don't think I've given myself the time to step away from the lesson and step into the knowing. Logically, it's very easy for me to grasp concepts of healing and understand what's going on with me and where I need to go from here. But emotionally, I'm still not quite there yet. And I am so grateful for this podcast, because I don't think I would have been able to get to this point, this whole new version of me yet, without it. But if I'm being honest with you guys, because of all the things that I do, my work with my clients, school, this new portal of unbecoming and becoming someone entirely different, and letting go of the limiting beliefs that have been driving me up into this point. And the podcast, I don't know if I mentioned the podcast, but that too. All of that is not giving me any time to fully step into my feelings. And I've had these not absurd, but these intense breakdowns. Panic attacks, crying. It's like, I went from starting this podcast of being someone who doesn't really often cry alone. Every once in a while, maybe like 3 or 4 times a year, I have a breakdown, and usually it's in front of somebody as I'm talking about things. And now it's more of this need to cry all the time, this need to be in the grief. But I tell myself, no, sad later. Not sad now. We can be sad later, but first we need to do X. First we need to do this, do that, do the study, do the prep work for my clients, do the healing, do the podcast, do the prep work for the podcast. And I need to let myself be. I need to marinate in this grief and this sadness so that I can move on, so that I can move forward. And so that's what I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to close out this season, give myself time to reflect on so much growth within, I guess, the past, I remember I skipped a week, so it's been 24 weeks. So that's about 4 months of this journey of the podcast and this portal of, yeah. And give myself the time and space to learn. I mean, a few of the things that I want to get into is I need a lot of lessons and help in finding out my blind spots and moving past them when it comes to business and money. It's funny because it's a topic I've been wanting to talk about, but I'm so not on the other side of it. So, I mean, I could spend a whole podcast sharing my woes and and my dark holes in this, but I know that that's not where I'm supposed to be with this thing. And so I'm going to get help for myself and get a coach, somebody who can help me move past my blocks and my stories around this business that I've started for myself, and to let go of the mindset of go and to hustle. I spoke with this coach. She's a therapist, she's a healer, she's a lot of things, and she's a coach for coaches, and she's doing some research for some programs. And the way I had met her, actually, it's funny, it feels very full circle here. So the way that I met her was I was doing a lot of readings, and there were readings for people that I knew. This was back last summer. There were readings for people I already knew. So I really wanted to test myself and to figure out if I can really take this ability, this intuitiveness, this empathicness, and see if I can do a reading for someone I've never met across the map. And so in comes Kara. And Kara is in Sedona. She's worked with a lot. She's a Reiki healer. She's there. Yeah, she's done a lot in this world, and she's worked with a lot of healers. And the reading I did for her was fucking mind-blowing. And it helped me realize, okay, there's something in this, and I can take it far. How far, I don't know, but I can go somewhere with it. And so it's funny, it's kind of full circle how now here she is, and she's doing research for some programs that she wants to launch for her clients and for the realm of people she wants to help. And she and I have a conversation, for her research about my growth as a coach for others, as a healer. And it brought a lot to light. I had to tell her right from the bat, this is going to be a conversation with a lot of crying because I'm in it. I'm in the thick of it. And it helped me realize that I've had the answers right in front of me for a long time now. Well, before the conversation with her, for a long time, I've been feeling the call to let go of things. Actually, since the beginning of summer, my intuition has been whispering to me, it's time to let go of things. It's time to cut back on your indulgences so that you can simplify your life and so that you can let go of distractions. Distractions of sugar, alcohol, marijuana. I don't know if you've ever read any of my blog posts, but I wrote a blog post about why are you smoking weed? And I stepped back into all over again the place that I thought I was able to move past, of smoking weed to numb and to get past my anxiety. But what it was doing, it was perpetuating the cycle of my suffering. All these things that I was engaging in were just perpetuating my suffering, and I had the answer right in front of me. And it's like a face in front of me, and I'm looking over the face to the left, looking over to the right, looking above it, thinking, are you sure this is the answer? I think I could figure out a better answer. But it's been right in front of me. And my whispers have turned into screams, and I've been feeling really, really out of alignment. And now I'm ready to step back into alignment and to figure out what is it that I forgot? What is it that I can remember? And how can I help myself get there? And step one was no longer smoking or drinking. And it's funny, I don't smoke a lot. I don't drink a lot. I'm actually very moderate in all of these things, but my moderation was still just not cutting it. And that was Monday and today's Saturday, and I definitely 100% feel very, very different. Very different. But then something happened yesterday with a client, and I had a feeling it was going to go this way. She's been rescheduling with me last minute a lot. And when I first started my company, I decided that because to respect my time and my energy, I was going to have people pay for a percentage of the session beforehand, so that if they need to cancel, they have to understand that there's repercussions to canceling last minute, and to have a policy of 24 hours and blah, 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 and all that good stuff. And I didn't do it because I was way too afraid to assert myself. I was afraid that it was going to turn people off or blah, 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 all the reasons not to. And I do regret not doing it, of course, because then this client who I love, I adore her, I think the world of her, and she kept on canceling on me last minute. And then yesterday, when it was time for us to start our healing, she didn't call me. She didn't answer my texts. She didn't answer my calls. She didn't text me back for like another 2 hours. And it was just 2 hours I sat at my altar for a half hour fucking around, hoping that she was going to respond to me, and she didn't. And I felt horrible. I felt used. I felt screwed over. I felt all the things, and I wanted to blame her. And then I went to go on a run so I could shake off this icky feeling. But the ick turned into really intense body cramps, and I heard a scream, "Stop running." I thought I could run through the pain, and I couldn't. And so I stopped. And I slowed down, and my intuition was telling me this whole time, slow down so we can talk, slow down so you can listen. And so I did, and I took responsibility. I took responsibility for the fact that I didn't set myself up for success. I set myself up to be screwed over, or not to be screwed over, but to be challenged, to be consistently challenged. And there's so many other ways that I've set myself up in my business and in this podcast to be challenged. And yes, challenges are good. They're things to overcome, but I'm really, 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 really tired of being challenged. I'm ready to step into a place of inner peace and inner knowing and flow. And I haven't done anything for myself to set myself up for that. And it's time to listen. I screamed out to the universe. I did a big arg. Said, okay, I hear you. I hear you. No longer resisting. I no longer will resist to what needs to be done, and I will step into what I need to do. And I pulled out my phone and I texted Kara, and I told her that I'm ready to work with her for her to help me through my blocks. And I felt this weight being lifted off of me. I immediately started to feel this trickle of feeling lighter and in more alignment. Whew. I made it. I'm finally here. And in this break, as I step into this new season, as the world on my side of the globe steps into fall, I will let go of things that are keeping me in my masculine, so that I can be in my feminine, so that I can properly die. So that my ego can properly die, and I can lay her to rest, and I can grieve, and then I can look towards the light. But I need to fully be in my darkness. Oh, a bass just jumped out of the lake and flopped in. Hell yeah, I'm taking that as confirmation. Beautiful. You need to take the leap. You need to take the leap. And what I came to realize was, in order for me to move forward, I need to take a step back. When Kara asked me, what can you do today to move forward towards your goal of where you want to be a year from now? And I told her, this might sound crazy, but I think I need to stop myself in my tracks. And she nodded her head and smiled. She knew exactly what I was saying, and all the things that I was saying to her, I could see it on her face that she knew exactly what I was going through. And then she eventually said, I've been through this myself. I understand what you're saying because I've been through it. And I see her. She's on the other side of it. I'm ready to be there. So in this next season, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to give myself all the time to just be. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to receive help. I'm going to move through a whole lot of blocks. And I'll still be taking clients during this time, but I'm definitely going to reel that back as well. So if you have been thinking for some time about working with me, whether it's a reading, a healing, esoteric acupuncture protocol, now might be a good time for you to reach out to me and talk to me about it, because at this point, I'm only going to be taking so many people a week. So if you wait too long, it might be, might not be able to schedule something for a month or two out. And I gotta be honest, I don't know how long I'm going to go on this break for. So I didn't realize that this podcast was going to be such a clear saga of my growth. I thought I was going to have like one step away from truly fully revealing all my struggles and my pain. And here I am. And this is how it's meant to be. So if you are invested and interested to know what's going to happen next, hit subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. You can find that stuff in the show notes. I was going to say that shit because part of this portal is a really strained relationship with my social media and how I portray myself to the world. And it's been very clear to some people that, and you know, the universe is just giving me messages through them, through their own form of medicine. And my buddy Mitchell kind of helped me realize that there's something missing. There's been something missing, and I've been holding back. And obviously it's been showing up in how I portray myself on social media and how I'm received by the world. And there's definitely been blocks, and I'm ready. I am ready to burst through. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey, for giving me your medicine. Because whether you realize it or not, you being here, sharing this energy exchange, you being on my social media, you're absolutely a part of my medicine, and I'm grateful for it. No matter how lovely and gentle or maybe painful in my face it all is, I'm here for it. I'm here to receive, and I'm here to move forward. Thank you. I will be feeling your energy probably sooner than later, but when? I'm not going to say next week. I don't know. But I have a lot of love for you, and I have a lot of love for myself. And I want more love for myself. And I can promise you that next season will be full of all the lessons that have come out through this portal here, and as well as new interviews with new people. I'm doing some really exciting things in the upcoming future. And I'm definitely going to try to include an interview in those exciting things with these really, really cool people. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll be feeling your energy on the other side of this season.